I kind of been watching you and your career's just gone.
Oi Mak10, where you there on? Oi selector, where you there on? Grab a DJ, where you there on? You have to mix with your right and left hand. Oi Mak10, where you there on?
It's not always been like that though, has it? No?
I had to hit the lowest place that I felt internally in my life in order to just hold my hands up and say I need help.
None of that was enough for you to stop.
I'd go further than that. I've got kids, I've got family. That wasn't enough. Addiction is addiction. And I'll never forget the feeling of walking in my house and not being able to look myself in the mirror.
And you look in the mirror now,
Yeah.
what do you see?
I'm proud of myself.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you for watching me and Your Life. Please like, comment and subscribe.
Yeah.
The legend, Mr. Mak10,
How you doing?
AKA Daniel
Yes.
Ramsey.
Yes. How did you know that?
Which was the handle? Well, I don't know that because you don't. Okay, because obviously because of how I know you.
Okay.
So,
Oh, yeah.
so to make it be clear, this is the story for me that I met you in a recovery meeting.
Yeah.
And I think at that time I just got back into like a little bit of DJing.
Yeah.
And like you said something about I DJ too. I was like, oh cool. I didn't realise at the time who you were.
Yeah.
But I didn't know about your background, about your being there at the start of a genre. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With the Nasty crew, your brother Marcus Nasty.
Yeah.
With man like Gets, came like I didn't had. I thought you like me, a little bedroom DJ, and I have to say, since then, I kind of been watching you and your career's just gone. We were just talking before we started recording about your recent trip to New York and meeting man like Styles P.
Yeah.
It's a massive achievement,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I guess it's not always been like that, though, has it? No.
No, definitely not. Far from it.
Yeah.
Actually.
So I've got a few questions. If we go through the questions, we'll answer some of the questions, right? And we're kind of ad-lib and kind of have a bit of a flow in our conversation, right? So the first question to you, right, is how long did you know something was wrong, and what were you telling yourself at the time?
Whether I knew something was wrong is a different question as to when did I admit something was wrong.
Okay.
Do you know? Because in hindsight, something was wrong from a very young age,
Right.
from probably 9, 10, 11, when I was, what I felt was normal at the time culturally, looking back wasn't, i.e. smoking cannabis, around the back of the school, like nicking cigarettes to walk to school, smoking weed with my friends down the alley at school, in the first year of school, and drinking heavily, like in year 7, things like that.
Year 7?
Year 7. Yeah, 8 all through my secondary school years. So it's kind of a different question because when I admitted that something was wrong, I was a lot older.
Right. Okay.
Probably, 40.
I
So
get
from that whole period, it was more of a cultural thing that I thought was acceptable.
Well, it's quite because I identify with that where it's especially what's your background?
My parents are Jamaican.
Jamaicans, so some of that like a lot of especially drinking, sex, like a lot of stuff now. But I look back, but it's normalised. I look back and think,
Yeah.
at such a young age, the drinking, the cannabis. So I get that. I think my earliest recollection of, I guess it's a similar sort of thing, right? Earliest recollection of like drinking and alcohol was when my family used to have parties, right? My mum and dad used to have parties, or blues in the house, right?
Yeah.
And there'd be something like, I don't know, at the time it was alright, I think. I thought it was alright. They give me a little baby sham.
Yeah.
They give me a little taste.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That was normal.
I think back, I can't really have been any old, the same sort of,
Mm. Yeah.
like I'm 50 now, so, but at the time I would have been, at that time, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, similar sort of age, around about 8, 9. Okay, all right. So you were 40 when you thought, actually, there's something going on here.
So I probably 40 was when I was willing to do something about it.
Right.
Knowing I had a problem, probably 35, 36.
Right.
But then not knowing if it was fixable and if I had access to fix it.
Right.
And what I mean by that is I knew I had a problem. When I researched going to like a rehab or something like that, and it would always be in the wake of a morning after, right? So when I'm sort of sitting feeling sorry for myself, or while I'm still, it's just like, this is a bit much. I'm harming myself and others. How can I fix this? I don't want to do this anymore. Go on some website, look into stuff, send off an email or like fill out a form, and it comes back with a quote of like 30K for 28 days. And the situation I'm in, that's just not realistic. So knowing that, I just thought, who in this position can even afford to do that? One, it baffled me, but knowing more now, there is obviously. And secondly, I didn't know what was available to me in the community.
Right.
So it led me to sort of spiral and sort of give up in a sense that maybe this is just it, and this is how I am, and this is what it's going to be. I can try and fight it, but there was a sense of giving up through that period, that 35 to 40, or maybe a bit younger, I don't know, but definitely a period of maybe this is just it.
Yeah, rehabs are not cheap. Unless you get funding. So here on that one, and definitely identify with the knowing something was wrong, or having it's just momentary. There's moments where like, you know what, the voice is quite quiet. I think the other voice was always louder. But there's another. For me, I see it as like there's two like an angel and a devil on each shoulder, right? The addictive voice is a lot louder than the other voice, right? So I found it quite difficult. Like yourself, I would be like, yeah, you definitely need to stop this and definitely do some research, but give it a couple of hours, or give it come to a weekend or whatever, or friends going out. And I think my general the issue was for me was always thinking that I had that I was able to stop of my own doing, and then I'd go out and maybe have that first little taste again. And I didn't realise that just having that first one was enough to kind of ignite the craving again.
I think even with that realisation, it didn't really stop. I think for me, I kind of knew subconsciously where this was going, even though I would tell myself, I'll just have a drink today. I'll just have one drink. Subconsciously, I know where that's leading. Sometimes consciously, I know where that's leading. I think what I was battling with was the idea of that what I was doing was fun. And that was my enjoyment. And really, there was no fun in what I was doing. Probably for the first 2 minutes. And then, you know, what would happen after that never ended well. So there was not really a time I could say, yeah, I had a great time. You know, even now my head's going, oh yeah, maybe there was that 1 or 2 times. But, you know, that's my head telling me. But the reality of the carnage that I caused to myself and to my family, there was never no fun in that. And even my own behaviour, self-respect, pride, all of that, everything was damaged.
Okay.
You know?
So I'm guessing that your want to drink, or your need to drink, definitely overtook your want.
See, I would have I would have said it was a want at the time. I would have said it was a want because obviously I'm not admitting that something's wrong with me. So it's no, I'm doing this because I want to. Other times I would make a reason why is someone's upset me, you did this, you did that, or I'm happy, I want to celebrate, I'm sad, I'll feel sorry for myself, I want to do this. You know, just I could turn anything. I don't watch football, football's on. I can make that an excuse, you know. That's just me.
Yeah,
it's hot. Get the barbecue out.
Any reason, something good's happened.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Something bad's happened. Yeah, so okay, all right, okay. Next question. Okay, so grime is built around image and say hardness, right?
Yeah.
You'd say very kind of masculine energy, right?
Yeah.
What does a man in that world have to do to overcome to just ask for help?
For me, I had to hit the lowest place that I felt internally in my life in order to just hold my hands up and say I need help. That's my story. I think I just got to a place where I literally couldn't take any more. You know, so I think once I'd hit that stage, I would kind of gone through the adolescent era of growing up within around that energy, where it would have been a lot more difficult, I believe. I don't know, because I wasn't as far gone then, but the ball was rolling, it was in the post. But for me, I had nothing left there to worry about by that time. I'd done everything, I had nothing left to worry about what anyone thought of me. That's how I felt. So, and I always say to people who the mindset that I first had when I was asking for help is that I would worry that I would go somewhere, see someone I know, and the shame around it and all of that. Oh, what if this person finds out, that person finds out? But then the reality is that if I'm going somewhere and I see someone, they're probably in the same situation. Yeah. So, and I say this to people as well, I'll speak for myself. I'm in a position where I'm sort of down and out, let's say, and I've caused all this harm or whatever, and I'm worried about other people's thinking, which I shouldn't, or what other people will think. But would I rather the support you get that I got from fixing and going ahead and taking that leap of faith to try and work on myself, people will respect that and people will support you. So don't be worried about what other people are going to think if you're trying to fix yourself. If you've been doing a lot of bad stuff or whatever, people are actually going to embrace you for changing.
I think part of the problem is that you're so engrossed in your own head.
Yeah.
Right, you're so kind of self-absorbed that it's really difficult to think about anybody else but yourself, about what your needs and wants are when you're in it.
Yeah.
So it does take a lot of courage. It takes an awful lot of courage to, I think, the turning point for me, and I've never shared this out loud, so this is the first time, right? So my turning point was, I couldn't score my drug of choice, right? But I was walking down Brixton, just past McDonald's, as if I'm going to cross the road and go to whatever bar was there. What's it called now? The one in the corner near the cinema. Anyway, doesn't matter what it's called. Satay Bar.
Okay.
That is my haunt, Brixton, right? And as I'm walking past, I'm trying to get my drug of choice. I can't get it. And then I'm thinking, let me try and get a bit of bone.
Yeah.
And that was it for me. I was like, and that's when another voice came and said, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do. And that time, it was loud. Like, you don't have to do this. You need to stop. That was that was me having that thought, or smoking crack, was my rock bottom.
Yeah.
I was like, for me, at that stage, there were levels in terms of substance abuse and drug use. It's like there are levels.
Yeah.
Alcohol's kind of socially acceptable, right? And that's part of the problem. People think, well, it's only a bit of drink.
Yeah.
Or smoking a bit of weed is socially acceptable.
Yeah.
I'd say even to a degree, cocaine is probably more acceptable. But when he starts thinking about like using coke or heroin, it's like, fucking. I think it probably more so in our community. I think those two are probably have more of a stigma. Well, they definitely. Like I'd say, weed and alcohol, they're perfectly fine. You can use as much as you like. Yeah. But when it comes to the harder stuff, they're not as they are not acceptable within our community, right? But reality is, they're all just as bad as each other.
They're all just as bad.
They're all just as bad.
That concept was another concept that took me a while to grasp. Not to grasp, but it's like actually realizing that they're all just the same as a blanket. Obviously, some may be more powerful or do greater harm at a more rapid rate. But it was important for me to learn what I was suffering with in terms of addiction so that I could understand how to combat it. And one of the things that I learned was to just, addiction is addiction, whether it's alcohol, crack, heroin, cocaine, whatever, amphetamines, painkillers, doesn't matter what it is, addiction is addiction. And the other thing that stood out to me, so now I just look at, I had the same stigma going into places. I was very judgmental over the type of substances, what people would take, which I've lost. I totally get that other people have other vices and, some are more harmful, like I said, than others. That stigma's gone from me. But one thing that I definitely took away, like the story you just told, of that thought of you thinking, oh, maybe I'll try this. That's what's waiting for me. That may not have happened to me, but it will happen to me if I carry on. And I will do that if I carry on. And there's no reason why to say I couldn't go in even further than that and do heroin, because that is what's waiting for me. This is what this illness does. All of this stuff, as you're aware as well, it's just those 3 words, those 3 letters, yet. That's what's waiting. It just hasn't happened yet. And it's where you decide to get off the ladder. So if I carried on, I could have easily been that person sitting in the doorway. And likewise for you, I'm assuming. Yeah,
well, I think definitely it's just yet. But I've had to expand mine even further because I had to recognise that it's not just substances. It's work. Yeah. It's women. It's sex. It's training. And if I'm not careful, and I really like when people say that I've utilised the phrase "get out of my head." It's got out of my head. Get out of me now. That no matter what it is that I use, that's ultimately what I'm trying to do, is to get out of it. It's so uncomfortable. It gets to a point where in the past it's been so uncomfortable in this headspace, don't want to be in there, but I have to find a way to get out, to remove myself, and I can do it with anything if I choose to. So I kind of got to a point through my recovery where I had to look at all manner of things. Like money was one. I went to places to talk about money. I went to places to talk about sex and love. I went to places to talk about codependency. Obviously, first and foremost though, I couldn't really look at any of that stuff really until I put down the substances and looked at, like, if you really want to find out what your issue is, if you really want to find out what the root cause is, the core issue, then put down the sex, put down the money, put down the substance, put down the people. I mean, you'll soon find out exactly what it is you're dealing with underneath, Yeah. That's been my experience anyway.
Yeah. I'm still working on it.
We get there, man. Seriously, we get there. It's like a game of whack-a-mole, because I might put down one thing over there.
Yeah.
but I clock it. I've clocked, I've clocked my work load. Past couple of months has been nuts. It's been nuts. And I'm moaning, oh God, I'm working too much. It's like, I can say no. I'm like, and I wonder why I'm a little bit like, a little bit on edge. Okay. Next question. Who did you tell first? And what happened?
I told my missus, my mum, and my daughter.
Wow.
The way this happened for me, I've got a family member. See, I didn't know about the community. There was rehabs in the community that you can get funding for.
Right.
I didn't know about meetings. Well, I heard about meetings, but my mind says, how's that going to help? You know, meetings, very important in recovery. However, so what happened was my mum told me to apply for this place, and they said they was going to take me on, but I had to wait for a certain date. And I was saying, yeah, I'm going to go, but I was just going for them. So I was waiting on this date, and I was just like, they was happy that I was going, but I didn't want to go. I still doing what I was doing. And then one day I went out, and I came back about 9 in the morning, but this time it was different, you know, like, it was just different. I just had enough. I did something that I would normally do. I go out, I don't come back, I come back late. You know, how I'm driving is probably not suitable, you know. You know what I'm saying. So I just had enough this day, and it was a day where my family needed me, let's just say. And something just happened, light bulb, I was just like, that's it. And I just remember just crying. And do you know what? What I'm about to say, I've heard a million times this exact same story from people that are now clean. I was crying my eyes out, and I've prayed. I said, God, please make this stop. I've had enough. I told my missus, and my daughter she's like, she must have been 23 at the time. And I just broke down to her, told her what was going on. And she shared a story with me that kind of took me back about one of her family members on the other side that has got a heroin problem. And she's close to them. And she said that she's been searching the internet because she don't understand it. She's trying to figure out why they're like that. And that kind of touched me because I thought, wow, like, it just felt so grown up, and she'd never ever shared that with me. And like, in that moment, we just became really close, you know, so, and ever since then, I think I could tell her anything, do you know what I mean? So I know that she's grown enough to listen and understand. So that was my moment. And that moment of me saying, like, God, please make it stop, the amount of times I've heard that from people sitting clean tells me that there's something greater at play helping me. Yeah, and that's my truth. Yeah.
I'm trying to think back who the first person was that I told. And I think my brother knew. I think people had told him stuff, and he was like, nah, not my little bro. But I remember, and that was such a powerful, I looked up to my brother, I respected him a lot. And I guess the fact that my brother didn't judge, but he held me, and I was the first time I was able to, I told him, and his response, I told him, and I was able to kind of take off the mask for the first time and cry in front of my brother and say, you know what, everything you heard is true. There is no judgment at all. Was like the first stepping stone. Because I had it in my head that I think, I guess I knew what my dad would say. I didn't want to disappoint my mum. But to be quite honest, actually, now I look back, actually, they knew. If I look back to like, you know, you talk about when you were younger. Like I remember the early days when I used to go out raving to Jungle. I must have gone somewhere, I don't know, like AWOL or something. Randall must have been not my favourite DJ. You remind me of Randall anyway. I'll get onto that later. Yeah. The way you two mix, it's like. But anyway, I remember they found me. I was in the bath. The bath was running. It was boiling hot. My brother kicked down the door in the bathroom, and I was sitting saying, "I'm freezing. I'm freezing." So there's all these little things that happen from maybe at the age of 18. So I think they knew that I was dabbling in whatever.
Yeah.
But it was a good. Having that, I wouldn't say support, but having like being able to tell someone that doesn't judge you, it didn't judge me, was kind of instrumental into me then taking the next step, which was, okay, you're not judging me, so it's okay to tell one person, maybe it's okay to tell 2 people, maybe it's okay to tell a few people, maybe it's okay to go to the doctors, okay, maybe it's okay to take the doctor's advice and then go to the Maudsley, and then from the Maudsley, I got sent to Cold Harbour Lane, which is where we met, which is a drug intervention centre, right? Well, I didn't meet you then, but I would have, like, that place where we met, I've been going there for, see, I think I met you when I just came back in, so after, because I had a relapse, so I think I met you when I just came back into that, but I'll be going to that place for near on 20 years, you know?
Okay.
So, okay, next question. So you had a career, you had the respect, the legacy, you know, Nasty Crew. You had, I mean, you're a legend.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're a legend, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying, what does it say about addiction? But none of that was enough for you to stop.
I'd go further than that. I've got kids. I've got family. That wasn't enough. The legacy, respect of DJing, and that stuff, bravado. This kept me using, if I'm honest, because all that was ego. You know, I went way past the stage of that career. You know, like that period or highlight in my career was probably, in hindsight, probably about 4 years. Probably started to wind down about the age of 25. And then I was still at the party till I was 40. Do you know what I mean? So throughout that period, in my head, I'm still Mak10 from Nasty Crew, walking around, whatever, and I'm just in my head doing that, but everyone else has moved on, everyone's signing deals, they're now millionaires, they're doing concert shows, they're doing well for themselves, whether it's money or just successes in a whole in terms of their career, they're happy where they are. From the outside looking in, everyone's moved on, and I'm still, you know.
Yeah, I see my face, that's comfortable, like, oh.
You know, and that's my reality, like there was nothing going on for me. I was just in a downward spiral. And what would happen every now and again, you'd get like a group of people that would sort of latch onto me for that old time me. And I'll just be around these sort of people because they're celebrating me for a while before I move on to the next batch of people that are celebrating me. It wasn't really a good time. It was just ego-fueled nonsense. Yeah.
My peer groups, they're getting younger and younger.
Yeah.
My peer groups are getting younger and younger. As an oldest man in the crew, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, the thing when it cottoned on, really cottoned on, because it really just, the penny dropped. It's like, when nobody knows you and what your name is, and everyone knows your real name is, right? And everyone just used to call me Big Man.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, you call me Big Man, but do you actually know what my name is?
Yeah, that's mad. It's true.
You don't know what my name is.
Yeah.
And like, if I asked you what my name was, you'd be like,
Yeah.
So and just people that was it for me. I think ultimately what I wanted was to settle down.
Yeah.
Right, and it just seemed impossible. Like, it just seems the furthest thing away, like completely unachievable. Like a family, a committed relationship, children. I was like, I'm just destined for I'm gonna go to the bitter ends. I'm gonna be the oldest man. I'll be the oldest man in the club. It's gonna be embarrassing. Yeah. So yeah, I can hear you on that one, man. Okay. All right. Okay. So what did music give you that you were looking for in drugs and drink?
That's a great question, because the short answer is escapism, right? Because when I first started DJing, I would lock myself in the room and just DJ all day. So even looking back at that, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but my addictive behavior, it's definitely showing up in that area. Like when you're saying it could be work, it could be whatever, it was definitely showing up in that area because it was freeing for me. And another reason why I say that, when things took a turn and I wasn't doing music as often, everything else spiraled out of control. And that still happens to this day. I think I got some bad news while I was in recovery. And it wasn't bad news, it was bad news. It was just it felt traumatic to me because someone close to me was going through stuff and they're close to me. I don't want to see them going through that. And it was affecting me. I felt bad. And I just wasn't happy about it. So, this has happened a few times. And my instant thought was to book somewhere like a Pirate Studios or whatever. Just go there, turn the music up and just DJ for hours. That was my thought. That was whereas before it would be a drink or a drug. My thought, why was my thought, I'm going to go and lock myself in the room and just turn the music on and DJ until I can't DJ anymore. And that's when it hit me that that's what I've been doing, and that was me probably last year. These thoughts happen that when there's something, a feeling that I can't deal with very well, I either want to go studio or I want to go and DJ somewhere.
But that's good though, right? I thought to a degree.
To a degree, yeah.
To a degree, as long as I think this is an important thing, as long as you have the awareness around it.
Yeah.
I think if you were to create, because I can do the same, like with my martial arts, or jiu-jitsu, or training.
Yeah.
I think as long as there's I can most certainly know for example, I'm not training I'm not this week. No, I competed the weekend, gold medal.
Well done.
The gold medal dance, right? Like I feel like if you're being creative and investing, it sounds like you're investing in you, being creative, and in that process, I think when it gets dangerous or when it can get a little bit tricky is when you start harming other people. And it might not be major harm, it might just be, for example, see if you identify for me, if I say I'm going to train X amount of times a week, and it might not give me any physical harm, but it might mean that I have less time for my children, for example. That's when it's, or less time, or if I'm so focused on one thing, or if I'm so focused on training that my finances get out of kilter, or do you know what I mean? So it's like, I think as long as I have a little bit of awareness around, actually I've drifted off too far that way, and I need to pull it back and kind of have a bit more of a balanced approach to it all.
Yeah.
It's kind of my way of working it. So yeah, it's deep. I don't feel like if it's you know, music, for me it can be music, but I'm not as good.
Yeah. It's all right.
I got a long way to go.
It's all right.
But yeah. Okay, next question. Move on. Okay, it's a good one. I think it's a good one. What would you say to a man who's where you were, but isn't ready yet?
I've got something I always ask people, and I hope that it registers with them. Mm-hmm. I always ask them what I ask myself. Is it fun? That's what I always ask, because I would really want someone to really think about where it starts and where it ends every time you do it. And ask yourself, is that your life? Is that fun? Is that your life? And is it fun? Because I always told myself it was fun. And only looking back at the end of every night, was that fun? And I promise you it's not. It's definitely not fun. The things you do, the way you behave, the things you're willing to do, how careless you become, your self-respect, like losing all of that stuff, is that fun? You know, you can't look no one in the face. I'll tell you this story of the first time I went rehab, because I've been twice. And the first time I didn't listen. I wasn't doing what I was told to do. I wanted to do everything my way. This ain't something where you get to pick what you do, especially in the early days. You know, it gets easier. I don't want anyone to think it's like, you know, but it gets easier. But in the early days, you definitely need to, you should listen anyway. You need to listen. I wasn't listening. Anyway, I ended up relapsing for multiple reasons, that are things I wasn't doing that I was meant to. And I'll never forget the feeling of walking in my house and not being able to look myself in the mirror. And I was walking around like that for years. That feeling of walking in my house and the first thing there is a mirror and I couldn't look in it, I felt the shame I felt. That was how I was living. So I know it wasn't fun, basically. It wasn't.
And you look in the mirror now.
Yeah.
What do you see?
Yeah. I'm proud of myself.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm proud of myself. I'm not perfect. I've still got a lot of work to do. But I'm proud of what I've achieved in such a short space of time. And it just goes to show what's on offer. I think that's my story. It may not be everyone's story, but I've achieved some great things, like for my career in life.
I think the biggest thing you achieved, personally, was playing at my 50th.
But even that, listen, you know what? That there, let me tell you something, yeah?
I know you trekked, you put it on, I know you trekked down, I know you must have been in between.
No, but what's beautiful about that, listen, I can turn up. I can turn up, people can rely on me. So there's actually power in that story, because if I say I'm going to be, I know I was meant to be here last week. I was meant to be here last week, but I had a big artist from South Africa. I understood, I'm sorry. But I do normally turn up.
We were waiting, man. Everyone was cussing skinny tea. Like, where is he?
I was giving this big speech, but I missed it. Anyway, but I turn up. I like to think that I'm reliable. You know, this is the wrong story, isn't it?
No. Listen,
you know what I'm saying.
It was cool. It was cool. We talk about it.
You know, I can turn up. I can be available.
You're here now, man. Listen, and I really appreciate you coming. Because I know your life is especially busy right now. To make time for this is I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. But probably not the right story. But I turned up anyway.
Okay, we got one question.
All right.
One last question.
Yeah.
This is be an interesting one, actually.
Yeah.
I think I need to apply it to something. And you know what? And usually I ask, what were your top 3 songs to give you motivation, inspiration, right? But I'm going to ask it slightly differently. I'm going to say, when you're in your darkest point, was there any song in particular
Yeah.
that kind of gave you?
Yeah.
I know there's a few songs for me gave me energy, gave me the spirit to change.
Sounds of Blackness, Optimistic.
You know what? That's the second time the songs we met. Yeah, that's
Really?
that's a big one. Patrick Hutchinson mentioned that one in the first episode.
Really?
Sound of
That
Blackness.
song there, always would put it on.
Yeah.
Always.
That song makes parts of that song still make me cry to this day, man.
Yeah, it's a very powerful
Full
song.
That and do you know Kanye did that the choir?
No way.
That Kanye West did
It's Sunday service.
Sunday service. Rain.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the whole Sunday service.
The whole Sunday service, that
thing
song Rain, I listened to it,
Yeah.
listen to the words, it's like
Yeah. There's another song from that. I don't want to sing it, but yeah, there's another
give
song.
some
on
verse.
there. Yeah, there's another song on there that's crazy. Yeah, powerful.
okay, man. Well, thank
Yeah.
you, Mr. Mak10.
Come on.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, man. You did it.
We did it.
Re-engineer your
Yeah.
life. Big Mac one. Yeah.